Hello and welcome back to another cast, or welcome to yet another cast. For you today I have a 3v3 played on the matchmaker and that's also the the Mapgen, yes. Talking hard. Um, but everything normal there, I guess. Yeah, looking at this map, probably 20k base, but scaled in quite a bit, so probably 12.5k, but let's get into the teams. We have the blue team, team 1 up in the north, team 2 down here at the bottom as the red team, and let's introduce the players. On the easternmost slot for team 1, in purple we have Vengeful. I originally read that as Vengeful, but no, that is Vengeful. Going UEF and opening first land. Then to the west of that, in blue, and going Cypern and opening first land, we have Darth Sand, who was already featured in the last cast. Yeah, anyway, to the southwest of that, in dark blue, also going Cypern and opening first land, we have Info Action Ratio. Right, for team 2, in their northernmost position in orange, and also going Cypern. A lot of Cypern today. Love to see it. Right, yeah, we have Solitho F, yes, and they are opening first land. Then to the south of that, in red, yes, again, words, hard, the word for that color is red. Yeah, anyway, in red we have Bolt, going Aeon and opening first land, and then last but not least, also going Cypern and opening first land as well, we have Mikofan in burgundy red. Right, let's look at the map. Bunch of mechs dotted around, as per always, as you'd love to see. Bunch of lines basically down here. And plateau right here in the middle that is actually linked up, but has some mountains in it. Reclaim, what you would expect from map chance. So, reclaim dotted around mountains, around the side of mountains, a few bigger rocks, and that's it. But on this map also a few civilian structures, and right, those are actually just layered into each other, meaning that there's probably a lot more mass here than it looks like initially. Those should be quite juicy to collect. I have no idea how much these residential structures and science labs are worth, or as well as this manufacturing, right, how much these structures are worth in general, but I suspect that they are worth quite a bit. Now, we do have 2 pawns right here in the back. We might see some ACUs hiding in there, and never mind, there isn't a beach. The map is actually quite a bit higher than I initially expected. Maybe some ACUs transported in there, but not going to be of any importance. Now, we already have some quick raiding troops from made up of some hunters and a mole down here, and that will most likely just push through, be a bit of nuisance, kill off some NGs, and as things usually go, most likely just get killed off by Mantis. We already do have some air out from the southern team. Everyone on that team currently with an air factory by the looks of it, as I see 3 colors of blue or bluish air scouts. And yep, everyone on that team does have an air factory. Let's see how's air looking on the southern team. Air factory has just been finished by Bolt, though that is currently just used to build NGs. And there is an air factory out for Seth. Wait, Solitho F. God, where did Seth come from? But yeah, that is currently building a transport. Let's see what be up with those. Yeah, there are tiny water corners. Tiny water corners, yes. I was going to say tiny water corners in the corners, but I think that's already included by saying tiny water corners. God, I think I already have a bit of FF brain after the last game. And I'm horribly sorry about that. After casting last game. It is actually something you do get a bit with casters. Or with casting. Not as bad as with actually, compared to actually playing the game, but it does happen. Right, there was also a chariot built up by a boat. Now back to the corners, as already pointed out. Those are right in the corners, and with that shoreline there will most likely be not be any attempt to hide its use in there, as that would require the ability to transport, and unless the players need it for something else, I don't think that they will bother doing that. And I mean, would just be annoying to deal with, won't have any real advantage. Don't expect anything from that. Now, that transport did, that I pointed out earlier, did drop some energies right here. And those did immediately start working on a PD. We do have a few edge builds out from the SU of Darth Sand, and they already built one factory, though, that is currently being killed off by this PD. The second one did just finish, but that will most likely also just die to the PD. Darth Sand not even bothering to build anything out of those, seeing that that will just die. But trying to get one PD up of their own, though that does just die to the to that PD out here. So Team 2 currently firmly in control of that plateau. Vangerful has gotten a bunch of reclaim right here, getting off all these civilian structures right here and quite a few of those. And now going for gun. Civilian structures up here all currently still intact, and doesn't look like there's any play to actually reclaim those. Again, not sure how much mass is in them, but it's probably enough to get something like 1 or 2 T2 maxes, and honestly that is quite nice in the earlier stages. We do have T2 land already out for Wangerful at 7 minutes. And currently still only T1 out from Solithor F. There was attempt with Justice to take back the side island, but, well, already quite a few enemies out from Bolt, and those will just wipe those. Nothing too impressive there. Let's see, any other T2 land? Yes, there is T2 land out from Info Action Ratio. But once again, not from the Southern team in the from Mikofan. There is T2 air out from Bolts, so we might see some, maybe some Swift ones, which are quite useful at T2. And Artitrop going on from Solithor F into the main base of Wangerful. These intis did lock onto those. And okay, the first transport will most likely go down before it drops. And so will the second, so that did not go anywhere. That mass was just wasted. Right, I want to check if there is T2 air out from Darth Sand, and it did just finish, so now they do have access to that. Vangerful now going for Nano. That will make that ACU really survivable, or a lot more survivable, giving it an additional 1.5k HP and a lot more regen. The big part on Nano generally being that regen. Though to be fair, for Seraphim you also get a lot of HP, especially with Advanced Nano. But regen is just king because... well, okay, it can be countered by a lot of HP, but regen is really powerful on the hull, since that doesn't need time to between damage ticks to just heal. You will always just have that trickling heal coming in. Also one of the reasons that Cybran isn't actually that much worse off than the other factions, since they do get a lot of additional regen, or 8 additional regen on the base, in exchange for those 1k less HP. Which would probably just add up to roughly the same. Infection ratio did go T2 on that ACU and is just creeping up with some Cerberus by the looks of it. Or at least securing the side area right now, not wishing to be outflanked. Gun coming out from Micofan. Currently no gun out from Silver F, and we have Tier 2 coming out from Bolt. And a bunch of hoplites just being a nuisance to those Auroras. Hoplites fulfilling a similar role to the Aurora, requiring to be held back or macroed in the back a bit more, since they don't have that much HP. Only 550. Which is a bit more than which is quite a bit more than Aurora, but well, around 4 and around 4 Auroras worth of health. But 42 units not too much. Vengeful just using that commander very aggressively and getting a bit more ground. Now into the now threatening the main base of Silver Elf, who does have Tier 2 now and has started building up some Cerberus. And though with Tier 2 out from Vengeful, I would expect there to be some MMLs, and yep, MMLs already queued up in that main land HQ, meaning that if there isn't any TMD built up in time, this will just completely wreck those Cerberus turrets. Well, okay, there is TMD already going up, so fair enough. The AC of Silver Earth being very ballsy, just well, handling with that commander of Vengeful a bit, and that without Silver Earth actually having any upgrades on it. Meaning that it has a lot less HP and a lot less damage and range than that UF commander, which with front rank of veterancy and that chunky nano upgrade is now looking at 14k HP, 14,850 HP to be precise, and 56 regen. The UF commander is just in a complete UF fashion being incredibly chunky. Being really thick boys. We do have Rhinos out now from Silver Earth, and those out now running past the area down here. That low ground, that slope. Something currently not covered by Vengeful. Definitely will be necessary. And I'm really disappointed that those do not get continued, that there's no continued reclaim on these guys. Because I'm still sure that that is probably quite a lot of mass, and also still no reclaiming going on up here. It's sad to see because, well, okay, never mind. Infraction ratio has started reclaiming these Siphon structures. Great to see. Now, you should probably evacuate the civilians first before doing that. But, I mean, what are few civilian casualties among friends, right? Right. Those civilians are just some additional mass. More mass to power your war machine. Right, yeah, flares actually do damage now to their missiles. I guess that is to help counter or help make them useful against bully nukes. As due to the way that the bully nuke takes multiple missiles to be shot down and stuff like that. And no longer doesn't get redirected, meaning that, yeah, the normal TMD stuff just doesn't work. Or the normal Volcano TMD just wouldn't work. Meaning that it needs to deal damage. But we have a beautiful light show with the Vipers splitting every time the missile takes the damage, into splitting off into 3 missiles, as the Viper does. And just, well, Volcanoes doing what they do best and giving and just targeting or rerouting a lot of missiles. Right here in the south, Micofan has started a push. That commander does have gun and nano. And there is That will probably mean that it will survive a lot longer against all these T2BBs. Though it did only take out that shield, which, to be fair, is dead. That commander does go down into the yellow, but it is already regening quite a bit. Nano and all that. And we'll be back on its legs very soon. Also, the ACU of infraction ratio does not have gun, it does have T2. Those are mutually exclusive for the side run. And no nano, so that ACU is... well, it does have more HP due to the HP boost you get from T2, but it is still a lot more vulnerable. Though it is about to vet, and there are some very nice overcharges coming out. Very nice to see. The Volcanoes are just ridiculous. I mean, just look at what's going on in the sky up here. The push does continue, infraction ratio is now being walked down by Micofan, and they have run out of units, they have some hoplites, but honestly I don't think hoplites will do the trick here, as that is more of a close range engagement currently. And they would probably be much better off going for some, not for some titans, for some rhinos. That is you down into the yellow. The AC of Micofan a lot more healthy. And there are now loyalists on the field. Those are definitely going to be a big issue, as loyalists are really good at against T1 and T2 units. Info action ratio going for a factory block, trying to extend trying to delay Micofan. But they are now down into the red. Continue to be walked down by that ACU, and factory blocks do not work. That ACU is still very healthy. And another loyalist coming in, and there they go. Yes. Micofan taking out infection ratio at 16 minutes. So the northern team 1 player down already. And will be gifted over to Vanguard, who has already been microed on the other side. And apparently there are trebuchets. Not sure why. I'm not sure why you would go trebuchets without there being any major firebasing going on here. Well, never mind that, there was firebasing going on here and trebuchets would have completely wrecked this position, so fair enough. But I think the big misplay here was going for those hoplites instead of the rhinos, since rhinos would probably have done a lot better against these, against both the loyalists, the T1 spam, and the ACU. But with that, Vanguard definitely has some T3 land, at least of the cycling variety. And they also have UF T3 land. Let's see how air's looking. There is T3 air from Darth Sand. And let's see how it's looking down here. Well, it shouldn't be too surprising to see T3 land out from Micofan. They have been building royalists for a bit now. Then, let's see. There is T3 air out for Bolt. Though I think the air, there is currently more of an air grid out from Darth Sand, and yes there is. And there is currently only T2 land, but it is already 6% on the way to T3 out from Silithal F. And there's a lot of MMLs now out from Vanguard. Those will be quite a nuisance to deal with. A lot of zappers now going up for Silithal F to try and counter those. But let's just take a quick count. We're looking at 10 flapjacks, that is a lot. That is going to be hard to deal with. Not as hard as 10 Vipers, as already pointed out, the Viper having that nice perk of splitting once it takes damage, but still you should be careful with that. Vanguard just taking some shots onto these rhinos, and does Silithal F have Rider? Okay, yes they do. It took a while, and by the looks of it, they might be in a bad power situation, so I guess they will maybe pause stalling for a moment. Currently have stealth, are going nano, so I guess they did take a lot of damage. Maybe there was a run by, maybe those were tactical missiles, not too sure. Sadly did not pay too much attention to that. But Vangerful pulling back now. A good call, since that ACU did take a bit of damage from PD, but never mind. It is going right back into the fold and getting an overcharge into one of the Cerberus. Another one getting another overcharge going in, and that ACU is a lot more healthy now, pouring in a lot of damage. But I think the pillars should have been pushing forward instead of those strikers, as pillars are a lot more tanky with their 1500 HP. Strikers in comparison a lot less. Let's see. Is there any strikers alive? Yes, down here. 300 HP for strikers, so we are looking at around 5 times the HP pool. Is it 5 times? Yes, that is 5 times. That does add up. Just had to make sure. That ACU of Vangerful now taking a lot of fire from these rhinos, but it manages to pull back in time. Now 3 banks of veterancy, quite a bit of regen. In the meantime, Mikofan switching to T2 instead of gun. Since the ACU that was on this side has died, it's a fair call. And they are, however, now facing off against actual rhinos. But at the same time, they did just wreck that position, that forward position that was built up by not by Silver by infraction ratio. Wait, I think that was the main base, not the forward position. Never mind, the map layout is that those two players have are mirrored, or you have the mirror axis right here. So never mind, that is actually how that is built up, and I'm stupid, there are 2 mirroring axes, and those are both main bases. Don't mind me. Yeah, that should also be the main base. Those back here should be expansion bases. God, I have a really hard time keeping actually recognizing that, I guess. There is a monkey out from Darth Sand, and experimental just finished. Was there just a delayed message of that, or did they just build another experimental? I think the message was just delayed a bit. They also have quite a few whalers. Neat thing about whalers is, like the UAF T3 gunships, they do have counter intel. And while UAF has fitting with the UAF counter intel stuff, jamming, the whalers do have stealth, meaning that they are really annoying to find when they are flying in. Those are targeting down Mikofan, who did actually go for T3, and is now building up some SAMs. But that ACU is taking a lot of fire. These whalers just dealing a horrible shit ton amount of damage, or a shit ton of damage, and that ACU is going down to a gunship snipe. T3 gunships are tough as nails. Probably the better option right here would have been to go for flag to get some AoE in. Also, flag is a lot cheaper, meaning that would have just... there would have probably been a lot more damage actually gotten in there. But whatever. Both pointing out that Slither F needs mobile AA, and I definitely second that, as that air is quite dangerous. And I'm pretty sure that board is currently behind on air, so that is definitely something necessary. They did, however, get their own experimental AGC. That monkey could probably just walk right through here, right up here and take that ACU out. Or right up here and take that ACU out. Don't think there's anything that could counter that on this flank. Well, to be fair, there's also nothing that can counter it on this side, so whatever. But Bolt now using the situation to start pushing up, push up. Silver Elf also, I guess, starting to move up some royals in this direction. And currently no units in the area to counter that. Another Monkey Lord has been started by Darth Sand, but they don't have any units defending their main base, not even gunships or something like that. So that could go very badly. There are some restorers out from board, but those probably will have difficulties dealing with those whalers and also ASF that are out from Darth Sand. Whalers, mostly again due to them having stealth, meaning that they can basically just pop up out of nowhere everywhere on the map, and unless you have proper Omni coverage, you don't know where they will pop up next. With ASF you have the advantage or the possibility, the advantage of actually having a fast unit, moving air unit. But with Restorers, they do move quite slowly. Now they are going in here, I think. Would have guessed that they were used to defend this area, but I suspect that maybe Darth Sand is just betting on finishing that Monkey Lord in time. It is currently at only 78%, and those loyalists are fast. I would not count on that finishing in time. Well, it's up to 84%, so it might. ASF actually now reacting to those whalers. Those were utilized to try and take out that GC, which is also taking a lot of fire from explosives, but being a GC it does just hoover those up, and down they go. Bunch of T1 PD right here, a bunch of more flapjacks, a bit of T2 PD, but that GC will probably do quite a bit of damage. The Loyalists managed to walk right past through the back. Due to Darth Sand not having any proper defenses, the Monkey Lord does actually finish. But Mangaful will probably lose a lot of their main base. They did lose their E-storage, meaning that they can no longer overcharge. That commander is moving in, but yeah, without overcharge that will still have a bit of a hard time against all of these Loyalists. Now, the spider down here is actually also proving to be quite successful. It has killed 48k mass and take out this entire base now. As I already mentioned, basically nothing to really stop that. Silver is saying that that board should take that out with air. Problem with that is that there's nothing and that there's no air to take it out with. Mangaful does end up going down to these Loyalists. I guess not having overcharge was really as bad as I expected. Not too great. So we're looking at a 1v2 situation with Darth Sand against Bolt and Slither F. And a Monkey Lord that now has 51k mass kit, 5 ranks of veterancy, 135 regen, and is about to get back to its initial HP pool of 45,000 HP, or very close to that initial HP pool. And it would honestly be very funny to have that monkey just at a higher HP pool than it started out with. Though Monkey A isn't too great, and those restorers are just, or that singular restorer to be fair, is a bit of a nuisance. Lot of T2PD right here, but that monkey definitely paid for itself. 80k mass killed. I mean, with that, the Southern team did lose a lot more mass than they might gain with reclaiming this Monkey Lord. And also a lot more that was invested by Darth Sand when building this, so whatever happens with that, they can be happy if that goes down. Or they don't need to be disappointed. 90k mass killed. Very nice. Though it would always be nice to get more kills, of course. And T3 power does go down for Volt now. And so does the T2 power. And never mind, there's more T3 power up here. Right, the Monkey does actually have stomping damage, so it does take out the AHQ. 110k mass killed on this monkey. Bunch of T3 maxes going down. 123k mass killed. And does end up going down, but with that amount of mass killed, it was definitely worth it. Let's take a look at economy. Team 2 currently behind roughly 80 mass. Well, that gap is widening by the looks of it. Now closer to 100 mass, more like 90. So that will definitely be an issue. There is, however, a Megalith out from Silver F. And still that GC from earlier, right here. Currently being repaired by Silver F. They will probably be better off just reclaiming that and building a new one. Now, let's see how things are going. Bigger aggregate going out for Darth Sand. They are building land stuff, but did not set up proper break points, as we can see right here. Percy's currently rallied into the main base. Right, I think they already were tasked with this flank a bit earlier. It's nothing too surprising there, and small run by of Meteusas taking out a few T1 maxes. Oh, and nothing too impressive. A few more Meteusas coming in right here through the middle, but there are whalers that will be able to defend against that. And small offensive right here or down here with a bunch of bricks. Those currently just taking out a lot of build power. And these rhinos also just taking out this PD that is actually pouring in a sizable amount of damage into these bricks. Is that? Never mind, that rapid fire just looked like a mongoose, but it wasn't. Okay. Trebuchet also moving up, but well, that needs to deploy. Things do slow down a bit now. More whalers coming out. And a whole bunch of Auroras just, well, coming in a nice and neat conga line, easily taken out by all of these whalers. There's a monkey down here. That mecha, well, I was beside that mecha, should probably just turn around and take that out, but for all those Persics that might not actually work out that well. And though if that isn't microed properly, and to be fair, Darth Sand currently has to micro a lot of stuff, then yeah, that can go horribly. Airfight going on, Bolt going after these raiders, and I think they currently have more ASF than Darth Sand, so they will most likely win this airfight. Let's see how this goes, and yeah, well, never mind. I think the add-ons out from Darth Sand were a lot better, so they will actually end up winning this airfight. Even though I'm pretty sure they did start off with lower numbers. It didn't do a count, but it did look like they had a lot less. Monkey does go down to Megalith fire. Megalith gets off that. And these Percies are now just taken out by a bunch of breaks and of course this Megalith, so yeah, it didn't work out too well. Current situation not looking too great. Whalers moving north, would love to see some air staging to repair those. Would also be quite nice for ASF, since not only does air staging repair your stuff, it also regens it it also refuels it a lot faster. And if you fight multiple airfights back to back, well, not back to back, because that way those can't do air staging more properly because you need a bit of downtime, but if your ASF fight multiple airfights in a relative short period of time, then air staging will make a massive difference, since the just regenerating dead HP pool means that they basically operate like completely fresh ASF, which is a really, really big deal. Like, might not seem like it, but just having that HP pool fully restored means that your ASF will hold out for a lot longer, and air staging isn't that expensive, especially when you're building ASF, so definitely can recommend to go for some air staging facilities. Yeah, it's 175 mass, that's basically free. If you start building ASF, that is basically free. On the other hand, I could also be talking complete nonsense. Wouldn't be anything new for me, but I don't know. I like using it. I tend to forget building it, but it is actually quite useful and also quite powerful. Anyway, run by of bricks right here. And that trebuchet not being microed properly, meaning that it can't deploy and can't actually fire. But, well, okay, I was to say a lot of T1 PD thrown up to defend. But all the build power did die, and okay, a lot of shimmers now coming in as well, and those will just completely annihilate these bricks. There was a Monkey Lord started up here, but that will not finish, as once again there's no longer any build power. Servers taking fire. There are 2 bricks remaining, those will probably just go down to servers and your bombers, and there they go. Well, reinforcing bricks do come in, trebuchet does go down, but not like that to do anything of note anyway. Experimental out from boat, it is not a GC, not too surprising. It is what I would have expected to see, and by the looks of it, the current play for Darth Zen is just really, really big air investment, following the idea that if they have complete air control, they can basically just do whatever they want. Which is correct to an extent, however, AA is quite powerful. And if your opponent builds enough AA, they can basically just deny your airplays. Which would be quite powerful usually, but, well, aren't in a situation like this. At least if there is proper AA coverage. And gunships do now move into the back line, and the ACU of Bolt currently not well protected. Like, not well protected at all. There's no shield, no AA, nothing. That ACU will just... I think that's the target of these gunships, so... Well... Right, I think they were trying to get into the water, not realizing that this is actually a proper cliff. And yeah, they will now just go down to this air snipe. Now, that's definitely a big door. A massive door. A massive fail. Not taking into account that this cliff is not actually pathable, and going down to the very obvious Air Force that was being very obvious out from Darth Sand. Now, a lot of willpower that did get gifted over to Sliver F, also going down to these gunships. Potentially even the Air HQ. Well, that ACU does at least have quite a few SAMs covering it. Yeah, it's currently SAMs, no flag, but SAMs will do the trick in this amount. But the airplay does worsen, and with this development, there might be the possibility for even a strat snipe would probably work out against that ACU. As the funny thing with strats, you only need to get off 1 pass, and they are quite tanky and drop quite early, meaning that you usually will get the bomb will drop quite close to the time that the Myrmidon will lock on. I think a bit later, but still early enough that those strats will survive until they drop their bomb usually. And that way, the only way to properly defend against Strike Bombers is either have a proper perimeter of SAMs, instead of just SAMs dotted around your ACU, or have your ACU under one, or ideally multiple shields, covered with SAMs, meaning that the strats have to take multiple passes. Or the third option, proper air coverage. Though air players can never be everywhere at the same time, so if the air player is distracted or doing something else at the moment, maybe even dealing with another, maybe even doing an air engagement or something like that, then you are going to be very vulnerable to that. Now, two Maglev out here. Soothsayer out as well. And Rasboy's at the front line just building up a bunch of Myrmidons, meaning that there won't be any good way for these SAMs, not for these SAMs, for these Whalers to actually do anything. Though they are focusing down these Zergos, which are actually shedding HP, and there goes one. Also taking out the Soothsayer, the Cypern perimeter monitoring station. The other Zergo goes down. Never mind, it doesn't. I was just talking complete nonsense. Yeah, right, because all of those just died. All of those Whalers. AA, ladies and gentlemen. Darth Sand did start teleporters, so I guess the play for them currently is just telesnipe. Fair enough, and let's see, does Darth Sand have proper tele defense? Well, you could say that. That looks like if they stay in the range close to that will be proper tele defense, but they are not staying in range of that and are moving on to here where there is a lot of PD. Well, to be fair, there is a bit of PD up here, but I don't think that has the proper elevation to fire onto an ACU that is like here. And we're looking at two T2PDs, which will never be enough to take out an ACU. At least not in time. Though it is currently a race against time for Darth Sand, as those Magleves are closing in. They have finished gun, they have a finished teleporter, and they have nearly finished lasers, so they are very close to tallying. They of course have a lot of power being air player, and they are currently also going. Okay, they were going for Soul Ripper, but I guess the focus was going into that ACU, into that tele ACU. Next play being just a lot more E-storages, I guess, for bigger overcharges. And work on the Ripper has started once again. Let's see, will the tele start anytime soon? They do have the power to basically tally at full speed. As the air player, they will probably not power store when they go for it. Whenever that will be. And they are about to finish a Soul Ripper. Now a lot of AA has been built up. Flag won't do too great against Soul Ripper, but any larger collection of SAMs like this stuff right here is just gonna completely wreck that. Or alternatively, this collection of SAMs right here. Currently no tally, but I suspect that may be just a backup strategy in case the shit goes completely wrong and they need to get either out of their base or just need to win the game very quickly. Scaff is started up by Slither F and already at 35%. Does Darth Sand know about that? Well, there are air scouts coming over, so now they do. One Maglev does go down to the Soul Ripper. Second one taking a lot of damage, but there's a lot of SAMs right here, and that Ripper is just shedding HP. Already far below half health, and into the red, and about to fall down. And that goes. Right, Tally is going. I guess that's Gold Wave was also to just find the ACU, and it's going right next to it. Currently only 2 PDs. Snapcrate going up on Still Earth. Maybe it's Laser, I don't know. Maybe it's T2 or T3. But it's definitely not gonna finish in time, and they do have Nano, but nowhere near enough, and that's nowhere near enough, and the Laser just completely goes through that, takes out the ACU, and Dove stands the highest with 620 HP right before the game ends. Still Earth, very unhappy with that, but with that the game does end. I hope you enjoyed this. This was streamed live on Twitch. Link to that will be, as per always, down in the description. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, or don't. And yeah, there will be more casts coming out like these, so if you want to be notified when those do release, you can always subscribe. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you again in a future cast or stream, and till then, bye!